Yeah. Just on wages, what good is it to say that you'll support a 5.1% increase in the minimum wage on the hustings if you're not prepared to back it up in a submission to the Fair Work? Aren't you misleading voters? And isn't that a bit disingenuous?
Not at all. We've been absolutely consistent. I said the other day, 2 days ago, that we'd make a submission in government. Submissions to the Fair Work Commission case will be open until June 7 because of they'll take into account the March accounts. And I've said consistently, one of the themes of this campaign, I don't know if people have been paying attention out there, is that the cost of living of everything is going up except wages aren't. The idea that we would support a real wage cut for people on the minimum wage is, I think, the extraordinary claim. I think what's extraordinary about this debate is that a Prime Minister who says that people who are cleaners, retail workers, people who got us through the pandemic should get a real wage cut is really what he is saying. We'll put in a submission. Hang on. No, one at a time. Well, that's not my fault. In terms of the submission, this is what we'll put in a submissions close on June 7. The election, here's the story. The election is May 21. Submissions will be open until June 7. And this is about whether those people on the minimum wage in Australia get a dollar increase. And one of the things that this government is saying consistently, they talk about how strong the economy is, but a $1 increase for those people who are on the absolute minimum wage, somehow the sky will fall in. What I have said consistently, and I'll say each and every day, is that if the Fair Work Commission that operates independently of government, makes a decision to not cut real wages and to keep up with the cost of living, that is something that I would welcome, and I'd welcome it absolutely.
There's all this investment, but you go to the pubs and you ask workers, and they're all fearful that this could lead to a boom and bust situation, like what happened with the LNG industry, where 14,000 jobs were here and disappeared overnight. I guess they feel no planning is being done, and they're concerned with the social impacts. Do you agree that there needs to be a national transitional authority to help with that transition in places like Gladstone and the Hunter? And what is your plan to ensure that a boom and bust situation doesn't happen?
What our plan is to have a boom and a further boom and a further boom. One of the things that's happening with areas like battery storage, and this isn't just about, when we speak about batteries, people think about electric vehicles, and yes, that's part of the story. But it's also about storage for households. One in four, I think the figure is now, of Australian households have solar panels on their roofs. Far less than that have storage because of cost, because of those factors. It's about that for households. But it's also about storage for industry. It's about how you drive that change through. This is a growth industry into the future that will create jobs not in the short term, but in the very long term. And Gladstone is ideally positioned, and I'll ask Ed to comment on this as well. Gladstone is ideally positioned because it has a deep water port, it has an industrial skills base. The people we met this morning, the young women who are working here, doing TAFE courses in chemical engineering, skilling up. These are good jobs right here in Gladstone. And we spoke today, we've been welcomed by Southern Oil, and thank you to Yanri for showing us around. One of the things they're looking at here is expanding further into the future. If we get this right, we have enormous opportunities in the future.